I was once giving a talk, and someone stood up and said, "How can the city, have a world-class school system?" And I said, "I'll just settle for better than average." And I think there's a lot of aspirational talk, and I always try to bring it back down to a lower level. I've never quite understood why teaching students to read has been so difficult in schools, and you guys are doing it now, and it's going to be a problem. I just don't understand why we don't teach children to read first before we try to get them anything else. Why a young man can't play basketball or baseball or football unless he can do the percentages of how his score is calculated, so he'll know what that is. It just seems to me, and I realize there have been back to basics programs, and it's like just almost bureaucratically, there's always something new on the education horizon, rather than just teaching reading and writing.
Yes, so I think you're absolutely right. And I think there are different schools of thought around not just what it takes for kids to grasp the skills, but also what engages children. And at the end of the day, I think we know what it takes to teach reading skills. At times throughout our history, different educational fads have come through that said, actually, we shouldn't be teaching kids phonics or how to decode, that we should just expose them to a rich basis of literature and they'll pick up the words. And after a really long time, I think we figured out that we have kids who can't read, or even if they can read, they can't comprehend. And so we do have to get a little back to the basics. We have taught millions of people how to read. We know how to do it. And we have to double down especially in our areas where our kids are low performing. And some of the
children who have not done well in the late elementary years, and then they get into the junior high years when they start growing and as individuals, they have a harder time. You have a harder time reaching them.
And there's a culture around teaching reading, right? You have to be in an environment where people are reading to you, whether at home or at school. You have to be in a place where you can actually access books.
Do you have the technology for iPads and Kindle readers, and they're getting to be cheaper and cheaper, although it's still expensive for students who even from poor families can have them.
One of the most exciting things about technology, Tom, is that it opens up a world of exposure to our kids. I was looking at a program the other day that has 155,000 books in its catalog, right? And so on your tablet or on your laptop, a kid has access to 155,000 books. That's better than any library we could send to them, or any set of books that we could put in their homes. And so the ability for technology to unlock countless resources is really important. We've invested in technology in DCPS. We have laptops and whatnot, but we are actually piloting about 18 different educational technology solutions across the district, from kindergarten to 12th grade, to help kids with reading, to help kids with math, and a few other subjects.